Hello and welcome to Profiles in Risk. This is your host, Tony Cañas, and today I have with me Luis Pino, CEO and founder at Agentero. Did I think I got Agentero.
Agentero.
Agentero. Okay, so for the
Like
listeners,
agent, like an agent.
Agent Hero. For the listeners, here's the problem. Normally, I mispronounce the last name. In this case, I think I got the last name correct, unless you're misspelling it and it's actually Pino. But I
It's
think it's
not.
Pino. Okay. So Luis is from Spain and I'm from Costa Rica. So I speak the proper Spanish. He speaks something close to proper Spanish. Not too bad. And so for the last like 15 minutes, we've been BSing in a horrible Spanglish. And now I don't know how to pronounce anything. So Agent Hero. Okay.
There you
So
go.
Luis, first of all, thank you for joining me today. And no number two. So you are in the Bay, Berkeley. Is that correct?
I'm in the Bay. That's correct. We're based out of San Francisco.
Okay, awesome. I used to live in Berkeley, so I'm very
Nice.
familiar
I
with
did
the
my
area.
MBA in Berkeley.
Oh, so you're definitely a much better student than me. I, I,
I wouldn't make such broad assumptions, but maybe.
I did both my undergrad and MBA at Iowa State, and then I lived in Berkeley for a year, which was a ton of fun, but brutally expensive, especially if you're not in tech. We're recording this on May 10th. I'm assuming that the Bay right now is a very comfortable, like 60 degrees.
That's correct. You know, people say about the city that it's got more microclimates than restaurants, so it probably depends where you are. But yes, nice weather here by Dolores Park.
And oh, beautiful area too. And for those that haven't visited the Bay or haven't been there a long time, there are a lot of restaurants. In fact, my girlfriend Renee and I, for the year that we lived in Berkeley, we had a chalk wall, and we would go out to a different restaurant every night for dinner and write it on the chalk wall. We had a ton of fun. Dolores Park is amazing to picnic on Sunday. Yeah, beautiful area. Awesome. So
Absolutely.
we always give the guest the chance to give the elevator pitch. What is Agentero?
Perfect. We're a tech-enabled insurance network. So basically what that means is that we help both insurance carriers and independent insurance agents. We provide independent agents with two things largely. One is market access, so access to the carriers that we partner up with, appointments, etc. And then we also offer them our technology platform, which basically streamlines the whole agency operation, so they can quote, bind, request appointments, service their customers, everything from our platform. You know, I had the other day I was chatting with one of our agencies, and he used to come from the captive agency model, and he's now an independent agent, and he was telling me, look, what I loved about the captive agent model is that I only had one system, I had everything under one roof, it was easy. But what I hated about it was that
Everything
I
else?
could only sell one product, and if that product wasn't competitive, I was doomed. And then I went independent, and I was like, well, now I've got choice, but now I've got much more complexity. And then I found you, and you are that choice minus the complexity. So,
Love it.
so that's what we do.
I absolutely love that. And hey, for the listeners, if you are listening to this and you are still an exclusive agent, and I won't name the companies to avoid getting a cease and desist. If you're still an exclusive agent and you're listening to this, go ahead and make the jump. It's much better on the independent side. There are many resources to help you. Yes, it is complicated. It's hard. It's like ripping off a large band-aid, but it's so much better. That whole problem of people, your marketing money and efforts bringing in people who you can't write or who you're not competitive for. Oh, but we can write them through our internal wholesaler. Yeah, but you get 2%, you get 5% commission, and it doesn't count for your bonuses. It's just not worth it. It's much better in the independent side.
We've just launched a program for starter agencies, for particularly for those agencies particularly in this very hard market. That's very hard to get appointments and whatnot. So yes, we welcome agencies that are starting out, also well-established agencies. We've got over 2,000 agencies now under our network. So
Okay.
where we cater both to small and somewhat larger agencies.
Okay, so let's dig into it a little bit. Okay, so I was taking notes. Okay, so tech enabled insurance network. Okay, uh, and basically you provide market access, which is desperately needed for anybody who's not already a largish independent agent, because it's very hard to get market access. I'm a former marketing rep for two different carriers, and it always drove me nuts how hard it is to appoint an agency.
Yes.
Back at one of those very large Fortune 500 companies, they used to tell us that it cost them $100,000 to appoint a new agent, and I was like, what? How? Now, 10 years later, 12 years later, I get it. I get it. Your technology is awful. Your processes are outdated. And okay, yes, I can see how it costs you that much. So it is hard to get appointments unless you have an existing book. So you kind of have to go through somebody.
Yep.
But on the other hand, there are many options on who to go through, right? So let's start with the with the platform. Okay, so you're telling me that the platform streamlines the whole agency operation. That's a very interesting claim. So it's not just a quoting platform. It's not just a market access platform. It becomes your entire AMS. You don't have to get Epic or Vertafor or Hawksoft or anything like that.
So we on the AMS side, on the last question, we integrate with a large number of AMSs. We're Vertafor partners and a couple others too. But the platform itself, what it does is that we've basically mapped out all agency processes, and what we do is that we try to digitize them one by one. So we're slowly but surely marching towards this concept of an agency in a box. The places where we've already sort of developed very robust solutions are the whole appointment management. So the whole you don't have to fill out 100 forms to send them over to 50 carriers. You fill out one form, we have all that data, we manage all your appointments. It's just as simple as clicking a button that says get appointed. Then once you're appointed, we've got an internal rating platform that where you can quote, and in some cases bind. Some of that binding does happen on the carrier sides. We've got quote proposals that can go out to the customers. We've got CRM capabilities around follow-ups and marketing and whatnot. And then what we also have is that if you connect your agency management system, we're able to analyze your book of business, and then through third-party data, through AI and machine learning algorithms, tell you how you can grow your book of business. So we do a lot of data enrichment on that. Actually, throughout the whole quoting on our platform is super easy because of the data enrichment that we do also on the background. And this works for both personal lines and commercial.
415 episodes or so we've recorded. I haven't had anybody offer this much. So I am slightly concerned. How can you do this much well? How long have you been doing this?
I hate that this is a podcast and that I can't show you a demo.
So if you wanna take over the screen, you definitely can. You wouldn't be the first to do it.
Don't worry. If anybody's intrigued, schedule a call with one of our incredibly friendly SDRs, and they'll be able to walk you through it. And a lot of times, it's worth more than 1,000 words. Just listening to the customers. a lot of things we do it through integration. So it's we've got very strong partners on a lot of what we do. Obviously, even though we centralize everything on our platform, behind the scenes there are partners. There are a lot of APIs that we tap into from third-party vendors. It's obvious that we don't go and fetch out all that data by ourselves and whatnot. So it's just connecting the dots and putting that onto one platform.
Okay. And according to LinkedIn, you've opened the company a little over 6 years ago. So you are one of the very early insurtechs.
Yes, 2017 we raised our first round in our seed. We closed it in 2018, so 2017 was a little bit about prototyping and whatnot. We've got awesome investors too. We're VC backed. We've raised a little bit more than 20 million. We've got top tier VCs like Uniscore Ventures that did Series A of companies like Twitter, Coinbase, and whatnot. Foundation Capital, that's then Uber, Netflix. So we've got really good people backing us that they believe in what we do, and what they believe is why they invested in us is largely three pillars, right? It's the market, it's the product, and it's the team. Market, I don't have to lecture people on this podcast about how large the insurance market is, but 1.5 trillion, 1/3 of it is P&C. I know that 1/3, around 60%, is distributed through independent agents. So we are in the largest part of the distribution. And then the other two pillars, product, I've gone a little bit over it. So it's putting technology in the hands of the agents to help them grow, to help them be more efficient. And then team, that's our special sauce. Those are the people that make me wake up and start working super excited every day. And I think that we've built an awesome company, but there's still a lot. There's still a lot more to look forward to.
Okay. So I've got to say, I'm not a VC and I'm not a technology guy, but to have built all of this on 20 million raised is pretty impressive.
Yes, well, there are ways to keep lean.
Fantastic. Okay, so there's a lot of competition on the market access provider side. There's a lot of aggregators, right?
Yep.
So 2,000 agencies puts you as one of the very large ones. I don't think the very largest, but one of the very large ones. What does the contract look like? How much does it cost? What is the pricing model for an independent agency that wants to join?
Yep. So first of all, on the agency side, right? There are very large and successful aggregators that I admire a lot, which have way fewer agencies, but that have much larger share of wallet within those agencies and that are hugely profitable. Like there are many that I admire that with much fewer number of agents they're able to do more. We've gone a little bit more to the long tail. We've started offering market access to more digitally advanced carriers that wanted to integrate onto our platform. We're now starting to offer more incumbent market access. So our share of wallet within those agencies, there's still a lot of room for improvement, right? A lot of room for growth. And then to the costs, we don't charge any upfront fees. We're here to help out agencies. We've put technology into our operations so that it doesn't cost us $100,000 to sign up an agency, and that's what's enabled us to get a large number of agencies, and we're here to support them. Their success is our success.
Okay, looking at the website, I was looking at the carriers that you provide access to, and I just chose a couple of random states like Iowa and Connecticut. So it looks like you've got all of the very, very modern carriers, and you're slowly working towards getting some of the more traditional ones.
Exactly. I mean, there's always there's always a chicken and egg problem when you're starting this business, right? How do you get agencies if you don't have markets? How do you get markets if you don't have agencies, right? So it's something that you have there to that you have to solve for. We solve that through a lot of it through integrating with insurtech carriers that were hungry for growth and that were looking for additional distribution. Also for players that one thing that we do very well and that carriers appreciate a lot is that the insurance agency channel is hyper fragmented, right? There's anywhere between 30 to 40,000 insurance agencies, and managing that whole channel is complex. So instead of managing all those thousands of agencies, you just have to manage us, and we manage those down. So we're constantly adding carriers. We've got a few more that will probably that will probably launch in the next few weeks. But it's a very tough market right now. When we pitch carriers, a lot of them are, love what you're doing, let me take rate, and then let's get things going.
Let me take rate. Let me finish my API readiness.
The second is not. We've figured out some ways around those. So
okay, that's excellent news. And the other one that I would have guessed is let me finish my internal systems conversion. That is a 10-year process, and I'm in year 14, or it's a 6-year process, and I'm in year 8.
Yes,
and then I'll be ready.
No, we can on the technology side, we can find if there's a will, there's a way. So we can find ways around.
Okay. So for the listeners that are carrier side, which is really where my heart is, I grew up in the carrier side. So for the listeners that are carrier side, why Agentero? Okay, so yeah, they don't want to deal with 30,000 agents, right? They don't have the capability to. So why should a Nationwide or a Travelers or a Liberty or an AIG, why should they integrate?
Yes, absolutely. So first of all, it's access to all these agencies, right? So number one, it's increased distribution. Then the other one is that we've got a very flexible model with our carriers where we work very closely with them, both to increase production and to increase production in the right way, right? So for example, things that we do on our quoting is that if they only want certain types of risk, I've got some carriers right now that, for example, only want preferred risk. So we're able to block out the kind of risks that they don't want because they don't find those risks profitable. So you've got a partner that not only gives you access to distribution, but then works very closely with you to figure out where you want to grow and how you want to grow. So that's the I would say that's in a very short answer the biggest advantage of working with us.
Okay, fantastic. Is there anything coming down the pipe that is not yet available or not yet on the website that you are able to announce?
I mean, last week we just did the release of what we call the starter agency. So helping agencies that are starting out, that are having a lot of trouble accessing, getting market access. We've got a program for them where we let them write under our own codes, quoting with our on our radar, and then they can graduate to get their own code. So that's hot off the press. It's been in motion for quite a bit. So I'm very excited to announce that one. And then we've got some carriers, but until they're not launched,
completely understood.
But we've got 3-4 more carriers that will be launching between May and June.
So you mentioned this concept of an agency in a box that you're marching towards. So what will that look like once it's fully done?
Yeah. So when we had an office, we had this big map where we had mapped out all agency processes, right? And we had put them into buckets, into like, hey, everything that you need to do in order to start your agency. You need to get your licenses. You need to get your name. You need to everything that you need to get started. And then once you're started, you need to get leads, you need to get people in the door, then you need to quote them, then you need to bind them, then you need to service them, then there's the whole operation side of things, right? So we basically went out and mapped out everything that an agency does, and then we started saying, okay, let's digitize these processes. So what the end state of that looks like, if there's ever an end state, because it's always evolving. There's always one more carrier to add to the radar. There's always something. There's
only about 2,000 PNC carriers in the US.
Exactly. Yes. But that's what it looks like. That's how we think about it. It's what is everything that an agency does, and how do we put technology behind those processes?
Fantastic. I've got to say, I cannot think of anything more complete that I've heard of. For an
it's ambitious, but that's what we're here for.
This is very, 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 very exciting, and I've seen you guys very active in the conference circuit. I'm glad that we finally got the chance to sit down. I look forward to catch up, a year or two from now, and see where things are sitting, and how many of the 30,000 now you have access to, and the carriers, and how the agent in a box process is going. Just really, really awesome stuff. For the listeners who, sign up for a demo. But if they want to see you guys in person, will you be at InsurTech Insights in New York? Will you be at ITC?
We'll
definitely
be at ITC in Vegas. I think this year is October, right?
Yep, the week of Halloween.
Yes. So we'll definitely be there, and we're generally available on. Just. If you want to reach out, feel free to fill out the contact form on our website. Feel free to email contact@agentero.com. We're here to help. We're here both to help. We're trying to make a smarter, more intuitive insurance industry, where we're and the approach that we're taking is, how can we make all these carriers? How can we be that middle layer between the carriers and the independent agencies, that both through technology and humans make these two parts of the crucial insurance value chain work better together, right? And in the process, just making insurance a little bit more sexy. I'm a big believer that I think that if we were to explain insurance to an alien, and we would tell them, hey, we humans, we've got this thing called insurance that if life goes bad for you, then you've got insurance. Aliens would be like, oh, that's awesome. I probably humans love insurance. And then you're like, no, they don't. And we're trying to change that too.
I love that. I absolutely love that. No, we make it incredibly complicated.
Yes.
Incredibly hard to get and hard to use.
Exactly. It covers everything except what actually happens to you.
Basically. and there's good reasons why. Like it's not because we don't want to cover you. Like, we promise that the contract from the beginning didn't cover that. We didn't change it just to not cover you. It's just a very complicated thing, and a policy that covers absolutely everything would cost way more than you're able to pay. I forgot to ask it, and we really shouldn't skip this part. How on earth did you come up with the idea? So I'm looking at your LinkedIn. I see that you have a bachelor's in computer science that you got back in Spain. And by the way, I'm guessing that you did that in Catalan, not in Castellano. So you speak Catalan?
So a little bit. I actually did two masters in Spain, business, and I'm also a registered I passed the bar in Spain, so I'm a registered lawyer in the Bar Association of Madrid. Those are sort of my two, my background. And then what I did at the WOC, which is a computer science degree, that's the probably I would say it's the best Spanish open university. So it's distance learning. You can take if you take some courses in Catalan, they discount them. I did a few of those, especially the ones that were heavy in programming.
Okay.
So this sort of I mean, the day-to-day of what I do sort of matches all those three things that I started for, right? I've got a large team of engineers. I'm reviewing carrier contracts and whatnot every other day, and then business is business. After that, I worked at McKinsey doing consulting. Did a bunch of consulting for insurance carriers. So started learning about the carrier side of things, and then I was the first employee at CoverWallet. So I joined.
The first, wow.
Yes, Iñaki recruited me before CoverWallet was CoverWallet. Fun story there. He actually recruited me for his prior company, which he sold. He's actually sold 3. My admiration for him is huge. He recruited me for his prior company, then he sold it, and then he told me, "Hey, I've got good news and bad news. Bad news, your job offer is no longer valid because I sold the company. Good news, I'm starting something new and I count on you." So it was amazing seeing how
That's awesome.
that went from 0 to 100, ultimately acquired by Aon. And then I was like, hey, this is awesome, but the really cool job is Iñaki's, and in order to do that, I need to start my own company. So I went off to do my MBA. I actually dropped out because I was constantly thinking, what can I start, right? And having set up a digital insurance agency from the ground up, it was just a natural path to say, hey, if CoverWallet as a digital insurance agency has been so successful, how can we make the almost 40,000 insurance agencies that there are out there in the US digital and successful too? So applying a lot of those learnings of having set up a digital insurance agency, then going on and taking on a level of abstraction and building that for independent insurance agencies.
That is a beautiful story. Absolutely beautiful story for future founders listening to the podcast. Learn the stuff first, then figure out how to disrupt it.
Yes, and then even if you thought that you figure it out, we've had to change many things, but at least you start in step 2 instead of in step 0. But there's like a million steps to success, and it's I call it the meandering path to success, because we're constantly learning, constantly finding new ways in which we should and shouldn't do things. But when you're at the edge of discomfort, at the edge of what has been done, there's some things that go right and others that you learn from.
Luis, this has been absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for your time. When this goes live, I will tag you and the company on LinkedIn. A real pleasure. Look forward to seeing you guys out in the conference circuit, especially at ITC. This is really awesome. Really awesome.
Thank you so much, Tony. I had a lot of fun being here, and I really appreciate all that you do for the industry too. Thanks.
Thank you.